Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back. Today we are going to see the second chapter of the political science, that is the federalism. As we know, children, all the time we are going to start the class with a good thought. So today's thought is everything you do now is for your future. 100% true. If you work hard right now, then your future is very successful and it will be a fruitful. So, keeping in this mind, we will move ahead for the chapter and let's discuss about the federalism. So, what is here federalism? Let me just 1 minute briefing shall I give you. In the last class, we have talked about four types of power sharing there. First power sharing is about the horizontal power sharing, the idea of federal structure of power, and the third, the community government and the coalition government. Yes, with this four power sharing that we have seen in the last chapter, and hope we got the concept clear there. Now, let's discuss about the new chapter, that is the federalism. If you see this picture, you may guess something new here. What is federalism? If we talk about the federalism, it is nothing but the division power between the center and the state. Let's say we have numerous issues that we will need to discuss about. It can be a defense, it can be agriculture, or it can be education, and so on and so forth. So what we do is, say if we say the defense would look after by the center, yes. If we take the case of agriculture, it would look after by the state here, and many issues that so on and so forth there again. What happened is ruling become much more easy. The execution process becomes much more efficient. So that's the sole idea under the structure of federalism. Yes. In the last class, let me recall of the example that we have studied about the case study of the Belgium and the Sri Lanka there. What we see there, if we take the case study of the Belgium, if we recall it, in Belgium the power is shared, whereas in Sri Lanka the power has not shared. Let's recall it. Where the Belgium is not shared the power with the central, has shared the power with the community to the another community there in the Belgium there. Where in the Sri Lanka it was like a vice versa there. Where in Sri Lanka that we can see the power was not shared from central to the other unit forms of government or any other community to the another community there. So the federalism between them in the Belgium, if we see, they have shifting of powers from central government to the regional government. That is the in the Belgium that we have seen it already. And also we have seen that the regional government was given constitutional power there. Yes. So here what federalism says in the definition, if we take the comparison between federalism and the unitary here. So here federalism says that it is a system of government in which the power is divided into central authority and various constituent units of country. Okay. Here if in federal, from the center to the various tier of government like state, local, and so on. Okay, when the power is getting shared there, division of powers has been made there. If we see the units, that the unitary government, if we see here, the main central takes the power in their authority and they won't share the powers to any other units of government. As we seen in the case of Sri Lanka there, if you recall that example, as we know that the Sri Lanka, that is a Sinhala group, has the authorized power They were not ready to share their power to the any other units of the constituency that we have seen in the Tamil speakers and in the Sinhala speakers. If you recall it, you will get the clarification there. So here we can say that, let me recall once again. If we see in the Belgium how the unitary form of government slowly and gradually after amendment between 1972-93. Here amendment is nothing but the changes in the constitution there, that has shifted to a federal of the structure where equal representation were given to both the states and both the linguistic group there. Just I told you like an example in the Belgium and the Sri Lanka. Similarly, under the federal structure, what we do is the central government would have so and so power, state government would have also so and so powers there. We usually say the state government would look after day-to-day functioning and the day-to-day administration, and the local level and the state level and the center has much fewer subjects that are very important. However, the idea of federalism differ from state to state and country to country. So later on this section, we would be focusing specially on India. Let's first talk about the idea of federalization and their benefits. Now, if you see this world map, federal countries of the world, if the green marks, that shaded part, we can see they are the federal. Already they color in the federal, that the countries which are green, they are the federal countries. So let's we look on the world map here. Here, out of 192 countries, you have 25 of these contribute to 40% of the population there, was population there. So that's definitely a huge amount, and most, as you see, bigger nations who are bigger in size, bigger in dimensions, usually have a federal structure there. So that's the ruling become or execution of power becomes much more efficiency and better here. So this is the example that we have seen how many federal countries of the world. Now next topic is about the, just I explained about the unitary government there. What is the unitary government? When the only one level of government is there and subunits subordinated there, center can pass orders to the other local government. The example is the United Kingdom there. Just I have explained this. The next topic is about we are going to see, that is the basic forms of federalism. It is very, very important, and you may get the question on this also. What are the basic features of federalism there? You can screenshot this and keep it with you as the points to write the answer there. It's very, very, very important, my dear students. Coming together, what are the features of the federalism there? The first feature, as we know, that it has 2 or more levels of government. Yes, this is the first feature. As we know that state government is there and central government is there. That are the 2 features. That is the first feature expressed there. Example, when we are, for example, see feature, as we know that what is the meaning of feature here. For example, if you want to purchase a new car, okay, if you want to purchase the new car, what you will be asking to that seller person? You may asking what are the features are there. So you will be knowing what are the features of that car there. Then only if you feel that yes, some that special features are there in that car, then definitely you are going to buy the car. In the same way, to understand the concept of federalism, we should know what are the features of federalism, or in which dimensions they are going to work there, or that becomes the feature there. So first one, as we know, that is a 2 levels of government are there. Now next one is that each level has its own power of jurisdiction. Yeah, each level of its have own power of jurisdiction. What is the meaning of jurisdiction here again? Jurisdiction is nothing but the limitations, or we can say that boundary, or in Hindi we can say that daira. Hmm? For example, I'll give you, let's let the let it will take one example as a Ram. Suppose Ram is staying in Maharashtra, fine. Then he will be the citizen of Maharashtra, and also he is a citizen of India here. Mean he should follow both the rules of the government, because as he is staying in the Maharashtra, he should follow the rules of the Maharashtra also, and as he is in the part of the country in India, and then he should follow the central government rules also. There means the law of the central government too. The main thing is that on Ram, on which issues the government is governed, means now that will be the very, means in which issue the Ram is going to get the govern there from the government, that will be the very here. For example, think if Ram want to migrate to the other country, means suppose you want to go to the America there, so what happens there, it will be, it would be the foreign affair there, means whatever the related to the foreign affairs here, that will be governed by the central. Means if as you are staying in the state of Maharashtra, some of the issues that the law or that has been governed by the central here. So if it is the issue on defense, then the central will be related here. Or if you have the taxation, they will again the taxation is also looked by the central here. In the state jurisdiction, we can see it has taken the under, like policing, we can take the as a penalty for tax, etc. So people are same, but governing with the different issues matter will be different there. So I hope jurisdiction means what are the limitations of the state level and what are the limitations for the central level. As we are staying in as the citizen of India, we should know what are the laws that are applicable on the state level, as a state level, and also for the central level. This is the second feature of the federalism. Hope you got the clarity there. Third feature, it says that constitutional provisions can be changed only with the consent of both the levels of government. Yes, it is not that, for example, if you see in the state government, they have the powers of changing or ruling the law on the education. As we know that the government has given the power on the education for the state government with the central government, and this is has been guaranteed by the constitution. Guaranteed is nothing but like that the, suppose for example, if I give that, if anything is given you, and if I say for example I want to give you the gift there, so you may think, ma'am will give the gift or not. That is not there. If I give in the writing that if you come, if you take so and so marks, then definitely I'm going to give the marks. If I write and give, then it will be guaranteed there. The same way, here also in for the state level, we also have been guaranteed for the constitution that. So, but what happens in the central government is it so powerful that they can change the law at any time. Means comparing to the state, if we have more powers with the central, they can change their law at any time. So in that situation, what happens there, to hide from this situation, our constitution makers, what they did it, they forecast about the future there. So they written that it cannot be changed unilaterally there. Unilaterally, what is the unilaterally here? It unilaterally means the central government cannot change as they like, and the state government too, means it is applicable for the two governments there. So in which fundamental provisions do there, means we have to, what the some basic fundamental provisions are there, we should not cross that one. For both the level of the government should agree to it. So here means if we give them powers to the states, then state becomes the more empowered there. So this is the case of the third feature here. Hope you understand it. Now the fourth one will say the constitutional provisions can be changed only with the consent of the levels of government. Means whenever if you want to have any conflicts, means it should not happen that if the powers are given to state, then state will say that I am having the more powers than the central, they should not dominate to them. Or if the central is saying that if you have the more powers with the centers, then central should not dominate to the state there, means here one domination cannot come there. So that will be the here the who is having more powers or on different levels of government, that can be given authority to the court here. Means here the we can say that we can see court represents the constitution, the powers of different levels of government here. Supreme Court is the umpire if disputes arise with the different levels of government. It means see when the two governments when have the power there, they should not fight for the anything. Means if any conflict is there, they should not dominate with each other. So if the conflict comes between the two, then who will be governing them? Suppose if they saying the central is right, if the state says no, we are right, so in that case what happens here, who should one should be look after that. For example, if I see that in the school, if you fight with each other, then what happens, one the unknown person should be there or neutral person should be there, that should not be a friend of your one who fights, or they should not be friended. So what will go, you will go to the neutral person there and you will ask that what is the right one, someone should be there to solve the problem there. In the same way here, if the two conflicts between the state and the central comes, here the judiciary will take as a umpire there, means here judiciary takes care of that one. So here the court will be taking the suggestions there. Again, if we go to the next one, that is the means whatever the conflicts are there here, court will be solving. Next, sources of revenue are clearly specified. Sources of revenue is nothing but about the, we know that it is it is the case of the money matter. Financial, the economic level should not be, if you have the money, then only we can run it over proper there. So here the revenue source of revenue looks after the center and as well the state level. In both the levels, financially autonomy ensures it, means financial should not go any other different manner. That means to balance it or to check and balance it, we should follow we should be more careful about the revenues here. Next is that about to safeguard, promote the unity of the government. Yeah, what is it to safeguard and promote the units of government here? When we see the power, when we share the power, then everyone will be secure. If the central has having the more power, if they are sharing the some powers to the state, then the state will also say, yeah, I too have some powers. Then they will also become the happy to do the work there, and it will be like unity there, means they also feel that something is there, that I'm also have been valued here, so that power has been given to him also, then he will be happily working and there will be unity. That means the problems will solve automatically by them there. So this will be the one of the objectives of the federalism there, to safeguard, promote the unity of the country. So this is the statement states that. Again, second one, it states that to accommodate regional diversity. To accommodate regional diversity, what does it mean? At the same time, it is accountable to regional diversity. It means that you know that India has been divided into the large diversity of other cultures. We have so many cultures in India, right? We have so many languages. We have so many different states. For example, if we see the states like Maharashtra, the states like the Andhra Pradesh, the states like the Mizoram, Nagaland, they have the different cultures there. If they all come to unity, if they come all together, the unity is there. They want to form with the unity. Then we will, as we are from the different states, regional, but we want to be as the unit there, and we want to make the good time bonding with the central then. So this is one of the, it is all under under India, we can means we are all under the one umbrella. Means we are all the different states, we are having the different cultures, we have the different languages, but too we are in the one umbrella, that is the India. As we are diversified with the many regions, many cultures, many states, but we have been called, or we would be called as the part of the India, because we are under the one umbrella there. So this is the objectives of federalism. If we go to the two crucial aspects of the ideal federalism, that governments at different levels should agree to some rules of the power sharing, as we discussed just now. Trust and agreement to live together must be there. So main idea of the federalism is that we should have the power sharing. If we large areas, if we share the power, then work will be going the smoother there, and you to feel that it in the economic or in any level of that, we also become the growing there. And to give to assign all these things, we should be trust, and we should trust it. When we trust and when we agreement, means when we have that consent and when we have that consultation from them, then must there it should be must there for the federalism there. The next is the very important, that is the difference between coming together and holding together. Yes, children, as with the coming together, we know very well that it should be a unity. That means every, for example, I can say that large country decides to divide its power between the constituent states and the national government. That here the central government tends to be more powerful than the states. How? Constituent units have unequal powers. Some units are granted special powers, like India, Spain, and Belgium. See, this is the about the holding together. If we talk about the coming together, as we know that independent states coming together on their own to form the bigger unit there. Example we can take from, as just now I take the different states coming together like Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, etc. They come and unite together and form a big union. Means different states, if they come and they start to form the union, there means they form the, as they are from the living from the different country, but they form to the one union there. So the work becomes very easy, and the central become the more powerful there, because everyone, if we unite, and then the work is become very easy there. And it increases security by pulling sovereignty here. Again, the what is meaning of sovereignty here? Sovereignty is nothing but when the country, when the country to form internal and external rules and make decision and decision making. It For example, you have that, if you get the power to make the decisions of your own, means independently you can make the decisions, that is called the sovereignty. Here what happens, all the constituent states have the equal power. That example we are taking as the USA. Why we are taking USA? USA means what? United States of America, means more all the states. Here the states, they do not, means they do not vary from each other, means all the states have the equal power. Okay, when you all the states give the equal power, then they come together to form a big area or a big union, that is called the coming together. That is the example we have taken as the United States of America here. So again, Switzerland is also there, Australia is also there, means here the coming together here. And next is about the holding together. Just I have said that what is the holding together. Here large country decides to divide power between constitutional units and center. For example, if we take the India, we are having the many states in our country, means here the main power has been held by whom? Central here. Means they have given, as we know that they have given the rights to the other states also, and they have given some of the powers to the states also, but that powers has been held by whom? again the center here. So here center is more powerful in the other state. Vice means they are in the other states. Just now I said that all the states here, we if we take means here the center has the power to decide to whom they want to give the special features. Means it may be sometimes it may be the unequal power sharing also, it is in the hand of the center that they will be deciding that to which state they want to give the more power or which state they want to give the less power. So again here it becomes the unequal distribution of the power. That is the holding together, means they have the power but they will be working as the product there, means how much power should be shared to them there. So in India also in our country also it happens that there are many backward states like the Mizoram, Nagaland, etc. Means they want to give some of the special features, as we know that. So this is this is the example of the holding together here. So here what happens here, the central government tends to be the more powerful than the states, and here constituent units have unequal power. Unequal power. Some units are granted some the special powers, as I said just now. So we hope you have got the clarification between the coming together, holding together. Coming together means one all the states are there and one center is there, where all the states they unite to form the big unitary there. That is called the coming together. But where in the holding together, what happens here the one holding power, those who are pulling the other states, they should be governed with them only. Whatever the power is shared to them, they have to be done with the holding. It means all the powers of the states has been held through the center here. That is the difference between the coming together and the holding together. Hope I feel that you have got the clarity on the difference between coming together and holding together. So next, the main important that what has made in India a federal country. Means if now we are going to study about the India, why did the India become the federal country? As we know that Constitution has declared India as a union of states. Yes, we are having so many states, and the Constitution in our Constitution it has written that some of the powers has given to the states, and also the main power has shared with the as the central there. Three tiers of the federalism, that is the union, state and panchayat. Let me explain you with this all the points. So here all the states in the Indian Union do not have identical powers. Yeah, with the last some of the examples we have understood also that, and just I'll explain about the union territories also. And the third one is that the fifth says that changes in power sharing has to be passed by 2/3 majority in the parliament. In case of any dispute regarding division of power, the apex court will take the decisions here. Yeah. Now let me explain with the thoroughly here what these 6 points want to tell here. So coming to that, what has made a India federal country here. So now let's come on India. Okay, that's the major section, or major we can say. We would be talking about, or major study that would be doing. Now in India, we have the 3 divisions of power. Just now I read it. At 3 level, all the powers that reside with the center are known as the union list. Okay, or as the central power or powers with the central government. The next is the powers that you have with is the state, that falls under the state list. Okay, that follows under the state list. Some of the power that are equally divided between the inter and the state of those to get the concurrent list. So that's the division of power. Now, if you see that division of powers that just now we have seen, now coming to the division of government, you have the central government, that the state, you have the state and the state government, you have the local government also. The local government again, now coming to the divisions of government, you have the level, the central government, then you have the state level and the and you have the local government. The local government be at the rural local government and the urban local government, which can come up to which come under the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act of the Constitution here. At the center, we can say Prime Minister, we have the President of the country, and as we have the Parliament, okay. In the state level, what happens? Okay, in the state level, what happens there? We have the chief minister there, we have the legislature assembly and Vidhan Sabha in certain cases. So you have the occurs in the state levels there. At the local level, you have the village panchayat, you have the panchayat samiti, that would discuss later. Okay, now when there is a division of the power of central state and concurrent list, so on concurrent list, what happened was after this was done, there was certain subjects that come up now. Now since these were already declared, these powers of ministry and these departments would go to the center, would go to the state, and so on there and so forth. What would happen to the thing that that came after the constitution was written? For example, computer softwares were there. Now, computer softwares was neither the part of the central government or nor the part of the state government here, because it is not the concept there. It till the constitution came up. So finally, what happened was put into residuary powers there. Now, residuary power are those. What do you mean by residuary power here again? Residuary powers are those powers that are seen up or that are governed only by the center. So all the residuary powers are looked after by the union government there, and the computer softwares. Okay, and the computer softwares, since it came after the constitution was written, you have it. It means it is just lying it in the residuary subject. Now, if you have the list of union list, in that in the state list and concurrent list, as we discuss some of the subjects that are some of the departments and the part of the union test and the state list and the concurrent list that just it has been mentioned here. The next come up in the topic India, that we say that federal structure, which is holding together the only state that has the separate constitution in India. If we take the Jammu Kashmir here, Jammu Kashmir and the Jammu Kashmir, why it has have the different constitution, have certain provision there. For example, a person who is not D means the person is not residing there, that region cannot be sell, or the land is not in that region there, means we cannot take or we cannot sell it or we cannot buy it also there. The next in the union territory, we have 29 states and 7 union territories. Those 7 union territories, what happened there, the 7 union territories fall directly to the central government. They are not looked up by the state, or it do not have the powers as the states have. For any change, they need to occur in the any of these arrangements. What happen is the both the houses must have 2/3 of the majority. When we talk about the houses like the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and then it should be ratified by the legislative of the states with at least 50% of the people there. Accepting that 50% of the people should accept the ratification there. So when it comes to the judiciary, we know that we talk about the resolution of disputes there, solving of problems. So under the resolution disputes, we say that at the central level we have the Supreme Court, and however in the state level we have the high courts that come up. So this is the map what it has been. You can see that it is the map of the India in 1947. Now if you see, it has totally changed there. Hope, my dear students, here we will stop with the things that what we have discussed here. Read the lesson. Whenever we are discussing this lesson, you should keep the textbook in front of you, and then you have to go with the points. And whenever the points, when we are discussing, it is very important, if I say this, get the screenshot of that PPT and you can make it as a answer also. So let me sum up the once again what we have just did in the this lesson. As we seen that what is the definition of the federalism, it is a system of government in which power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. This we have seen the map where the federal countries of the world here. So the green colored, whatever it has shaded, that all the federal countries of the world. And I have explained you about the federal government and the unitary government. What is the unitary government? Again here, only one level of government. Sub units are subordinated there, and center can pass orders to the local government, that we have seen in the example of United Kingdom. So let's we have moved to the features of federalism. Each feature that we have discussed thoroughly there. If you have any problem, you can ask me the question in the feedback there. As we know that it has the 2 or more level of governments, that each level has its own power or jurisdiction. I have told that is the limitations. So jurisdiction is specified by the constitution, and there is a constitution guaranteed by the authority. So hope you have got all the features properly there. Means I hope that you have got clarified with these features. If you feel anything doubt, then you can send the feedback there. So constitutional provisions can be changed only with the consent of both the levels of government there. And also we have seen that court interprets the constitution and powers of different levels of government there. Supreme Court is the umpire if disputes arise with the different levels of government. So sources of revenue is clearly specified, and we have seen that what are the objectives of the federalism. In the main objective of the federalism is very important, that to safeguard and to promote the unity of the country here, and also we have seen to accommodate regional diversity. And the main 2 crucial aspects of the an ideal federalism. If we see, government at different levels should agree to some rules of the power sharing, and trust and agreement to live together must be there. Means here, if we are sharing the powers, then work becomes easy, and when we are taking the consent and consultation, we should have the trust and we should be agreement there. Means we should give the guarantee there. The next topic that is very important we have seen is about the difference between the coming together and holding together. Coming together itself, it says that's the when we are coming from the different areas and we are joining in one point, that becomes the coming together and becomes the unity there. In the same way, independent states coming together on their own to form bigger unit increase the security by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity. Means increasing security means by pooling sovereignty. Just now I told you that what is the meaning of sovereignty there. means making the own independent decisions, and retaining identify. And retaining identify means, for example, I can give you the for example, we are living in the India. Our again Bhutan is there, Nepal is there. We all three are in the same nation, we are neighborings, but we want to, we three all become the unity, and we want to as we are three, but we want to keep our as the identification there. Means he is from the Nepal, he is from the Bhutan, we are from the India. We are working in this for the same thing, but our identification given as our individual only. That is called the retaining the identity here. That is one example I have given here. And one more is this: all the constituent states have the equal power there. Means every state have the equal powers. There is not an undistribution of inequality there. When we have the equal powers, then it is called as the coming together. So we have seen that the United States of America itself, it says that the all the states coming together and form the bigger unit there. And we and the example also we can see as the Switzerland and Australia. Next, holding together itself is, again it says that about the, means we are having the powers and we are holding. When we want to give to that particular person, then we can share it. So it has like that as the holding together. Large country decides to divide power between constitutional units and center there. Means as we are seeing that we are given the many powers to the states, but still the power was centralized by the center only. So here the center is more powerful than the other states. So here constituent units of federalism have unequal powers. Just I have given in the examples in the India. So here the countries like India, Spain and Belgium also seen. In Belgium also we have seen, no, the due to the language community they have become the difference there. So this means they have the power, but still they are holding the powers from the center there. So hope I feel that you have got the clarification between the difference between the coming together and the holding together. Next is about what has made India a federal country. After the independence, we have seen many bloodsheds that we have come across, and we have seen the constitution has declared after the union of states. So three states, the three tier of states, that is the union, state and panchayat there. Means we have shared the power in the union, state and the panchayat, what the powers they have it. And threefold distribution of legislative powers under union list, state list and concurrent list, that has been shared there. And all the states in the Indian Union do not have the identical powers. Example, union territories we have taken, because we have 29 states and the 7 union territories that we also discussed. And changes in the power sharing has to be passed by 2/3 majority in the parliament. That also we have seen how the power sharing has been passed with the majority and in the parliament there, in the government there. In the case of any dispute regarding division of powers, the apex court will be taking as the decision there. Means any disputes between the two governments, then who is the neutral person to take the decision here? Here is taken by the court here. So these are the divisions of the union list, state list and concurrent list. In the union list we have seen that when we have the subjects of national importance, national union alone can make laws, and defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication, these all come under the union list. And if we see in the state list, again the subject has been of the local and the state importance has given here in the state list, where the state government alone can make the laws there. And police, like I have shared in the last explanation also, police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation, that all comes the under the list of the state. And here concurrent has the subjects common interest both to the center and the state here. Means they should be have both levels of government, that is center and also the state. Both are the centers and states can frame laws there. Means if you want to form any of the law there, it is not that only the center has to made or only the state has to made, but it has to be done with the consent between the both the governments, that state and as well as the center also. So here we can take the education. I have shared the example of the education in the last explanation, and we seen about the forest trade, union, marriage, adoption, and the succession. These all come under in the concurrent list. Children, this is also very important. Please note down all these things, or you can take the screenshot of this PPT and you can write as a answer also when the question is asked to you all. So just have given one the map India Pakistan, that when we are united together in the year 1947, after as soon as when we got the independence, they too got the independence in the same at the same time. Before how our India or how our map it looks. So I want to share you all the things that I have shared all the things with you all. If you have any query, please can me send the feedback in the message box. And here, before learning or before understanding this concept, please take your textbook in front of you, then only you can understand it properly. So I request you all, till now whatever I have taken, just I have sum up or I have given the briefing about that. And also next we are going to continue again this chapter with the how is federalism practice, that will be are going to see in the next class. And whatever the now coming shortly, I'll give you the PDF of the question answers, some of the extra questions also I'll send you, and also the what for the portfolio I'm going to send you the flowcharts and other activities also. Please children, without fail start writing your question answers. Keep your classwork complete, because it carries the, as we have discussed in the paper pattern there, as internal assessment, you will be carrying the marks there. So don't delay it, and please once again it's request to read the lesson carefully and write the completion your work, complete your work, and completion it must should be. And I request you once again, stay home, stay safe. Before saying thank you, take care, bye bye.